So this is Steve Heil, and I just want to continue our discussion from last time on WebSphere Hybrid Edition and focus a little bit further on to the Transformation Advisor. So as we discussed, businesses today are going through a digital transformation, but they're also looking to optimize their existing investments. So WebSphere Application Server is one of our most successful pieces of software ever. We've got thousands of active clients around the world. Some of those deployments are quite large and have powered a good portion of the world's economy for the last 20 years. Many of those apps will take some time to migrate to the cloud environment, and WebSphere Hybrid Edition will allow them to make a gradual transition. So Hybrid Edition will help you to reduce costs by optimizing your current WebSphere entitlements, speed your journey to cloud by providing you with the tools you need for application modernization. So Hybrid Edition combines all of the products in our WebSphere portfolio together with a suite of application modernization tools. And it's designed to help you in your digital transformation journey from optimization and modernization to cloud enablement. WebSphere Hybrid Edition helps you to optimize your existing WebSphere applications today. It has flexible licensing and deployment options for immediate cost savings while you modernize your applications now or later, quickly or slowly. You'll be able to balance today's business requirements and equip developers with the tools they need to develop new value to the market quickly, allowing a phased approach to your digital transformation. So looking at the bill of materials there in the middle, Hybrid Edition includes all the WebSphere runtimes. Application Server Base, WebSphere Application Server Network Deployment, WebSphere Liberty, and Open Liberty, which is an IBM open source product. Hybrid Edition provides the license flexibility to move between all these WebSphere editions over time without additional entitlements. You can mix and match, change the solution mix over time. This will allow you to rebalance your environment as you go through your application modernization effort. In addition to all the WebSphere runtimes, we also include a suite of modernization and developer tools. So IBM Transformation Advisor, which we'll be talking about more deeply today, that will help you modernize and migrate your applications to containers. It'll evaluate and identify applications that are good candidates for migration and give you advice and recommendations on how to migrate that application. Mono to micro, so as you know, we've been starting to infuse all of our offerings with artificial intelligence and automation. And Mono to micro is an AI-driven tool that came right out of IBM research. It'll accelerate and can reduce the risk of refactoring existing applications into microservices. So as I said, Hybrid Edition includes all the WebSphere runtimes, WAS ND, WAS Base, WAS Liberty. It also gets rid of the processor value units, the PVUs, associated with existing WebSphere licensing and goes to a more modern, cloud-friendly VPC model, virtual processor cores. So no more PVUs, no more having to count PVUs based on processor power. A processor is a processor is a processor. A VPC is a VPC. It doesn't matter where it runs or what processor it runs on. WebSphere Hybrid Edition gives you the license flexibility to move between all these WebSphere editions over time without having to add or change your existing entitlements. You can mix and match the solution mix over time, allowing you to rebalance your environment as you go through your modernization effort. So I've talked about optimizing and right-sizing your existing environment, and I've talked about application modernization, and that's right where Hybrid Edition fits in. So you can start by optimizing your entitlements. That is, move some of your IBM WebSphere or ND cores onto the much lighter weight WebSphere Liberty. That'll immediately decrease your costs by increasing your server capacity and start you on the path to containerization. Okay, done. Now, at the same time, you'll start modernizing your existing applications. You'll use Transformation Advisor to assess all of your applications. You'll be able to figure out how complex each migration might be and to consider the options for containerization and microservices. And with that information, you'll be ready to create a roadmap for modernizing your applications. So while you do that, you'll continue to move entitlements onto WebSphere Liberty and keep freeing up additional capacity. So modernize, containerize, rebalance your environment, repeat, continue, right? That's the idea. Make your digital transformation easier. So we know modernization is a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. The process of modernizing applications and moving to the cloud can be a large undertaking. So you need to have a plan. You need to prepare your infrastructure. You need to take an inventory of all your applications. You'll need to analyze your applications and determine the best path forward for each one. And that's what TA, Transformation Advisor, will do for you. It'll help you to analyze your on-premise workloads for modernization. It'll determine the complexity of your applications, give you an estimate of the development cost in hours to move it, and give you advice and recommendations on how to migrate that application. It'll recommend the best target environment and even create migration artifacts for containerizing and moving to the cloud. It'll help you identify the low-hanging fruit. For example, the easy applications that can show quick success and good value. And this is where I want to focus in on today. I'm going to give you a quick demo of Transformation Advisor. So here we are, Transformation Advisor. So as I said, Transformation Advisor will accelerate the application migration process, minimize errors and risks, and reduce time to market. Transformation Advisor, and I'll call it TA from here on out, but TA will identify the Java programming models in your application. It'll determine the complexity of applications by listing a high-level inventory of the content and structure of each app. It can highlight the programming model and WebSphere API differences between the WebSphere profile types and show any specification implementation differences that might affect the app. TA will also provide a recommendation for the most appropriate WAS addition and offers advice, best practices, and potential solutions to assess the ease of moving applications to Liberty or newer versions of WebSphere Traditional. So in this demo, I am going to use TA to evaluate the effort required to migrate a customer order services application from traditional WebSphere to the cloud-ready new runtime with minimal code changes. So to use Transformation Advisor, first, I need to create a workspace and a collection. So a workspace is a designated area that houses the migration recommendations provided by Transformation Advisor against the application server environment. So let's just create a workspace name here, Customer Order Services. Customer Order Services. And each workspace can be divided into collections for more focused assessment and planning. So like workspaces, collections can be named and organized in whatever manner you want. So let's call this, since we're going from WAS version 8.5.5, App Server 01. Okay. So here we are in the TA collection page, and I've got two utilities. I have got the data collector utility and the data uploader utility. So the data collector utility is for getting the application data from the Java application server. All right, this utility can be downloaded from the Transformation Advisor web page. We're going to see that. And we'll download and run this utility against our Java application server to collect all application data on the server. So the utility can send the collected data directly back to TA, and it also saves the collected data in a zip file, which can be uploaded to a remote Transformation Advisor using the data upload utility. So let's just go ahead and download this. Now you can see in the download page, I can download a different version of the utility, right, based on the operating system here, right, Linux, AIX, Z, Windows, etc. Right. The page also shows me how to use the tool in a command line to collect the application data, right? I can collect application data from other services too, like WebLogic, JBoss, Tomcat, etc. So it doesn't just work for IBM WebSphere Application Server. It works for all other application servers as well. So I'll download the utility. I'm sorry about that. Let me close this. Download the utility and save it to my local workstation, and it's going to be saved as a tar zip file. So where are we here? Download. Okay. And after I save that file, I will go back and copy the command for extracting the data collector tar file. So let's just let that download for a minute. Here we go. Save the file. Okay. So now what I need to do is I need to copy the tar command right here. And you can see that's tar XVF, and that's for extract, verbose, etc. Right? So it's made it real easy here. So I can just copy that. And let me open a terminal window. There we are. And all I have to do is make sure I am in the home IBM user directory. Oh, sorry. Home IBM user. And one more directory. Where do I need to go? Downloads. There we are. There it is right there. And from here, I can just paste and run that extract command that I copied from this page right here, right? So once that finishes, the data collector will be extracted, and I can go to the directory where it extracted it. Okay, there we are. And now I'm ready to run the data collector tool against the WebSphere application server. So back to the TA data collector download page, go down to Run Tool, and again, right, WebSphere or WebLogic, JBoss, Tomcat, IBM MQ, I can do an analysis on the apps and configuration, or on the apps only, or the EAR and the WAR files. So this is the command that we're going to need to run, right, to capture the data from WebSphere. But for this demo, I've already run that command, and I've pre-created the data collector zip file. So all I need to do now is upload it to Transformation Advisor. So let's go back to the upload page. Upload that stuff. Here we are. Upload. There we are. And where are we here? There it is. And open and upload. So once the data collector results have been uploaded to Transformation Advisor, we'll see a set of recommendations, and they will be shown on this page right here. So you can see the migration source environment is IBM WebSphere Application Server. The data collector tool detects that source environment with a traditional runtime, which is version 8.5.5.20. The target environment is set to the Liberty runtime, which is the default target environment. The recommendation page will show you the analysis results for all the apps in this App Server 01 environment that we can move to the Liberty environment, right? So for each app, you can see the name, the migration targets, the complexity, any issues that it required, low, medium, or critical, and the estimated development cost in days to migrate. So for example, if we want to move the Mod Resorts application to a Liberty runtime, you can see it indicates that the application code does not need to be changed before it is moved to Liberty. And the estimated development effort is 0 days because no code change is requirement. No code change is required. The recommendation for the customer order services app shows both Open Liberty and WebSphere Liberty as migration targets, and I'll get a little bit more into that a bit later. So for now, let's look at the recommendations for the customer order services application, right? Transformation Advisor estimates that the effort to move the order services application from traditional WebSphere version 8.5.5 to Open Liberty will take 8 days of development time. And let's have a look at some of the details of why that is. So we're going to click into the details page, and let's scroll down to the complexity rules here. You can see there are 5 issues, and Transformation Advisor has determined that code changes may be required before this application will run on Open Liberty, right? So down here, you can see in the issue details section, TA has detected a critical technology issue with accessing the Apache Wink APIs, as well as additional issues around JPA, okay? And in the section about external dependencies, we can see that the application, requires access to a database and Java EE security. So at the bottom of this page, you'll see 3 reports. It has a technology report for details on which IBM platforms support the technology used by the application, has an inventory report, which lists high-level inventory of the content and structure of each application, and an analysis report, which shows potential issues, their severity, and possible solutions. So a quick look at the technology report. This report lists all the Java technologies the application uses and whether those technologies are supported by specific runtime, from OpenLiberty all the way up to WebSphere Traditional on ZOS. And this will tell you whether a particular WebSphere product is suitable for the application. Okay, a quick look at the inventory report. This just gives us insights about the application structure and any potential deployment issues. All right, so inventory details by application, summary down here, inventory details by archive, and any potential deployment problems, okay? And then finally, the analysis report. Let's not show this again. This report will show the results of the migration rules that were executed by the data collector. And you can see there are 4 severe rules flagged. And let's go to the severe rule summary down here. Right? Again, you can see there are 4 severe rules down here. And you can click on the show rule help. Right? So for the Apache Wink, you can see the reason here, the Apache Wink client APIs are not available, right? And some of these packages are not available. The org.apache.wink.client packages are not available to JAXRS applications, right? And the recommendation is to use the standard javax.ws.rs.client APIs where possible, or package the APIs with the application, okay? And likewise, if we go down here and look at the persistence, right, you can see the Open JPA disables the second level cache by default, and it will also give you the recommendation there to use that, okay? So let's close that back up, back to our recommendations page. So now let's look at the application in context of WebSphere Liberty. Okay, back here. And we had a look at OpenLiberty that had 8 days of estimated cost. Now let's look at the same application, but the migration target is WebSphere Liberty. And Transformation Advisor estimates that the effort to move the customer order services application from traditional WebSphere to a WebSphere Liberty will take just half a day of the development time. So if we click into that and get the details, we can see why that might be. So once again, here we are. Let's look at the complexity rules, and we only have 1 issue here. Of course, code changes may be required here, right? And in the issue details section, we can see the use of system provided Apache Wink APIs requires configuration, which is obviously a lot easier. And you can see there are no issues regarding the JPA, right? So no Java persistence API issues, because unlike OpenLiberty, WebSphere Liberty supports JPA 2.0 and therefore OpenJPA. So the same reports are in the bottom, the technology report and the inventory report. They're going to be very similar, right? Because obviously the technology and inventory is the same from the source. And the analysis report, if we open that up, It'll show the results of the migration rules that were executed by the data collector and the returned results. And you can see there is only one severe rule. And again, if we go down to the severe rule section, it is this wink issue. But again, if you show the rule help, it really just says it is a configuration issue, right? So obviously a lot easier. So let's go back here. There's one more thing I want to show you. Let's close this back out and go back. What I want to show you now is I want to show you the migration assets, because in addition to recommendations on how to migrate the application, TA will also provide you the assets to help speed up the deployment by offering up a migration plan. All right, so let's take a look here at the WebSphere Liberty target. And right up here, we can look at the migration plan. Okay. And the migration plan includes the generation of the Liberty server.xml config file to help you deploy the application to Liberty, a POM file to build the application, a Docker file to containerize the application, and an application custom resource to deploy the application to Kubernetes. So let's have a quick look at the Liberty configuration, the server.xml. Open this in a text editor, and there it is. So you can right away see, based on the analysis of the application EAR file, it'll generate a list of features required by the application right here. Okay, so you can see that TA, the collector, not only analyzed the application, but also the configuration, right? And if we could scroll down to the application section right here, to make the application configuration portable, Transformation Advisor uses environment variables for many parts of the configuration, and it injects the values retrieved from the current environment. Because Transformation Advisor does not collect any passwords, the variables for the data source as well as for the key stores do not contain any credentials. All right. So let's just close this up. For this application, the migration to WebSphere Liberty seems to be pretty easy, but there might just be reasons to stick with the WebSphere traditional and just containerize the application. So go back here, and what we'll do is we're going to change this migration target from Liberty to WebSphere traditional. And just like for Liberty, Transformation Advisor gives you insight to analyze the migration effort to WebSphere container. All right, so we can scroll back in here and we can see, right, the same complexity rules, any issue details, etc. And you can see there are none, right? So much, much easier. And just like Liberty, you can also view a migration plan. And this will help you create those assets like the Python scripts to configure WAS traditional, a Docker file to deploy the application into WAS traditional into a container, and pipeline resources as well. So that is how Transformation Advisor can help you evaluate your existing Java apps. And the whole idea behind WebSphere Hybrid Edition and the underlying transformation tools is to help you migrate your traditional WAS apps to a more cloud-friendly runtime while minimizing any code changes, avoiding errors, and therefore reducing your risk and speeding time to market. Okay, so I'm sorry, let's go back here. If you'd like to get started, just search IBM Transformation Advisor into Google, and the first two links will take you to the Transformation Advisor page where you can actually download the tool free of charge, install it, and go through an analysis of your applications. And if you need help with that, we can set up a time and we can lead you through it. Okay, so that's WebSphere Hybrid Edition with a focus on Transformation Advisor. Next time, I want to talk about a new tool called IBM WebSphere Automation, but that's going to have to be saved for next time. Okay, thank you so much, Steve Heil, and we'll talk next time.